Greetings, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of Plan B podcast. In this episode, we shall be discussing a few tenets that are important to pursuing and achieving maximum success. Very simple tenets. I'm going to go through about 7 of them that are really important to achieving any kind of success that you aspire for, and not just gaining any kind of success, but gaining it at the maximum extent possible. So let's get into it. First, anything that you go after, anything that you aspire to do, ensure that you follow the basics. Stick very close to the fundamentals. Keep it really simple. The keep it really simple principle works. So whatever you're aspiring for, whether you're looking to start a business, whether you're looking to start a company, get into a new job, start a new hobby, looking to monetize something that you're doing, whatever you're trying to do, ensure that you stick very close to the fundamentals. Don't get bogged down by any kind of complexity. Don't look at others and start looking at the expanse of things and how difficult it can get and get overwhelmed by all the complexity that you see in others, whether it's your competition or others that are doing it out there, and try to compare it with yourself and wonder if you're on the right track. Believe me, sticking to the basics, keeping it really simple, actually works and always helps because you understand the basics, the fundamentals of what you're trying to do really well, and it's better to continue pursuing what you understand really well. So if you stick to the basics, if you stick to the fundamentals, over a period of time, you can continue to build on top of these core skills that you have, and that's how what seemingly seems really complex in the long term starts to shape up, but it is shaping up because you have stuck to the basics, you have stuck to the fundamentals, and now you are layering up the basics one on top of the other. That's how you build this humongous opportunity for yourself. Second, always be consistent. No matter what you're doing, don't self-doubt. Just be consistent through the highs and through the lows. It's not going to be the same. Remember that. Remember, it's never going to be the same all the time. It's never going to be the peaks all the time. At the same time, it's never going to be the troughs all the time. So you'll have this zigzag fashion of things going up and down, and it's for you to ensure that you maintain your sanity through them. When you are really successful, don't get euphoric and overconfident. When you're really low, down in the dumps, don't start self-doubting yourself and don't give up. Just be consistent, keep doing what you're doing, and over a period of time, you will be legendary. Let me assure you that. The third thing, don't find excuses or problems to avoid doing some things just because you're uncomfortable with them. Any kind of excuses or problems are just naysayers. It's a no-no if you're after your success. Look at excuses or look at these problems as opportunities. What do I mean by that? Let's say you have the time. Let's say you're down in some aspect of your business. Now, look at tackling the problems. Just don't worry about them and look at how you can turn that into an opportunity. One example I can give you is, let's say you're in search of a job. Instead of trying to just keep searching and searching, maybe it's time you go out there and get some skills. Maybe you join some course and get some additional skills. Or maybe you sit down and write a few articles. Whatever you want to do, get creative and look to leverage your time where you're getting something back in return instead of worrying about things. So any problems, big or small, personal or professional, don't look at them as problems and just worry about them without taking action. At the same time, don't look at them as excuses in order to avoid what you have to tackle, the problem that's facing you, and move on, but look at it as an opportunity to self-develop yourself, to develop your own skill set and overcome that excuse or problem that's facing you. Because if you cannot tackle it directly, there's a possibility that you can do something else to take your mind away from it. At the same time, do something that will actually help you with your skill set or that brings you some other form of recourse to what you're doing. And believe me, you'll be in a situation where that recourse itself will turn into an opportunity where you'll have the upper hand by the time you get through that problem or by the time you get through that excuse. Now, the other thing that I would like to mention here is dare to be vulnerable. Don't hide things within yourself. Confide in somebody if you're having a problem. A fresh pair of eyes, a fresh pair of ears is always helpful, be it your spouse, your best friend, or somebody, so that they can listen to you and they can give you their perspective, which could be very different from your own perspective, because you have spent so much time thinking through what you're doing that you might not have the same fresh vision that the other person might have. So dare to be vulnerable. Go out there and put yourself out there for others to look at you and help you out. And if you are a little hesitant and scared, then maybe you do it with somebody that you really believe in, or somebody that you can confide in, a spouse, a partner, or a friend, so that you can bounce what you're thinking off of them and listen to their perspective before you take any decisions. If you want to become successful, whether in a profession or in something that you're pursuing as a passion or a hobby, or in your business, whatever it is, you have to be vulnerable. At the same time, you should be able to take the ridicule. You should be able to take the opposition. You should be ready to face that opposition, whatever comes your way. Because if you believe so strongly in what you're trying to do, it's important that you also be ready to face the ridicule, people laughing at you, if need be, or any opposition that you might find from friends and family. Even on the professional front, be ready to stand up to it. If you believe in something, be ready to stand up to it. Because if you're not ready to stand up to it, it just means that you don't believe in what you say you believe in. So understand that and have that gut reaction to anything that you would like to do. Next, make sure that you invest in your own growth. Make sure that you're investing in yourself personally as well as professionally. When I say that, what I mean is that you should be able to invest time, energy, and even money in your own self growth, in your own self development. Don't hesitate when you have to spend some money in order to make yourself look better or feel better, or for that matter, in order for you to go out there and learn something, learn a course or something that helps you in your personal development, in your personal growth. Make sure you don't second guess yourself and invest in it, because it'll pay off in the long term. Remember, until you invest in yourself, you're not going to connect with the deeper you. All this investment in personal growth, what it's going to do is it's going to help you find your inner you and connect directly with your inner you. It's going to finish you. It's going to help you finish yourself better as a better person, as a better professional, as a better businessman, in order to make sure that you can come out successful with them. Remember, money attracts money. We all know that. We've heard it so many times. Until you put in money, you cannot take out money. Just like in business, make sure that you're able to do that for yourself too in your own personal growth. Next, after that, I'd like to talk about how should you frame your success. Remember, we all need to practice what we want to be good at. Take anybody for that matter. Take yourself, in the profession that you're in or the business that you're running. How much time have you spent over the last several years? Obviously, you've spent tens of thousands of hours preparing for it, and that's why you're doing it today. Similarly, you take an actor, you take an actress, you take a musician, you take a painter. How much time would they have spent in practicing and honing their skill over a period of time before they show up on that screen or that theater and you sit there and appreciate them playing out for an hour or two? It might look from the outside that, these guys are lucky or they're very successful, they're very lucky, they seem to have it all, but it did not come easy for them. It does not come easy for anybody. So you need to be able to practice what you want to do and practice in private. Practice in private and then perform in public. That's how it works. Nobody knows how much practice goes for anybody who's been successful. Nobody gets lucky just like that. It's a lot of practice that's gone into it, and so much so that luck could not stay away from them and had to get to them and make them lucky. That's what it is. So practice in private and perform in public. That's how you fine-tune your own self, your own skill set, and that's how you make sure that you you put your best out there for people to see. Next, don't overanalyze what you're doing. Don't self-doubt and spend time thinking to yourself again and again if you're taking the right step. If you've asked yourself a couple of times and you believe it's the right step, just go ahead and do it. What's the worst that could happen? If it's not, you'll find out quick enough that it's not the right step. But just go ahead and do it instead of just fighting that war within yourself, whether it's the right thing or the right step to take or not. Because you could be spending and suffering with this overanalysis and get nothing for it. All that suffering, you would get nothing for it because you never executed. And that brings me to my last tenet, which is ideas are great. Ideas are dime a dozen. Ideas are great. It feels great when you have an idea. It feels great when you talk to somebody about it. It even feels great when you attend some kind of a workshop or a conference and you hear that your idea is being reiterated again and again and you feel very strongly or good about it. But what good is it if it's just an idea and if you do not execute? If you don't act on it, there's nothing meaningful that's coming out of it. And before you know, it might be somebody else who's acting on your idea, and you might be sitting back and thinking a couple of years down the line, hey, that was my idea. Wish I had acted on it. But look here, this is the other guy who acted on it, and look where he is. You never want to live in regret. Whether you're successful or not, whether you are moderately or overwhelmingly successful, whatever the kind of success you might get, the one thing that you should always avoid is you should never ever want to live in regret. You don't want to get through time and then look back and say, I should have done that, I could have been that. No, you never want to regret. So, whatever you're thinking of, if you believe it's a good idea, if you feel good about it, have the guts and the determination to go out and act on it, execute it to the best of your ability, and who knows, you might be the next star out there. Hey everyone, if you like what you hear, please be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform, as well as if you benefit from it, make sure that you share it with others so they might benefit as well. By the way, I have written a book and it's on worldwide Amazon. It's called My Inspiration: Quotes That Shaped My Self-Improvement Journey. Please do check it out. Thank you.